Today, we're on Quest for the Holy Relic. Mr. Percy, fetch me my coconuts. Hello, folks. Phil Gallagher, aka ThrabenU, here for another Legacy video. And today, Joey has asked us to brew around Quest for the Holy Relic. This is sort of an interesting card. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you get a quest counter on it, and you can remove 5 quest counters from this and sacrifice it to search your library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, and attach it to a creature you control. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Popo. Both of the cats are hanging down there at my feet right now, so the stream is a little precarious. Anyway, it used to be that you could play this in turn 1 in like standard and try to power out a piece of equipment. And this was around the time of like the Caw Blade, Jace the Mind Sculptor, various swords dominance. And there were some crazy pieces of equipment running around, including some things like Argentum armor that could give your creatures Annihilator 2, which is pretty cool. And I was asked, hey, can we do something like this in Legacy? And specifically, can we power out Meteor Sword with this? In terms of deck building, there was a challenge here in that I could build a deck that could trigger Quest for the Holy Relic pretty consistently on turn 2 or turn 3, and then could do basically nothing if it did not have Quest for the Holy Relic in its hand. So the challenge was to make something that is reasonable when you don't have Quest for the Holy Relic. And this is what I came up with, and a surprising amount of work went into this, despite how simple it looks. My goal was to play as many 1-drop creatures as I could to trigger this. And we're going to go back to some cards that have fallen out of Legacy. You don't see a lot of Mother of Runes around anymore because, well, Orcish Bowmasters is a thing. More on that in a second. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world if our creatures die. And I'm going to try to keep this deck mono white. The reason being that I would like to play an absurd number of basic planes in this deck. We've got 3 avenues towards destroying our opponent's permanents with Meteor Sword. Number 1 is Quest for the Holy Relic. Number 2 is Stoneforge Mystic. And number 3 is to just unironically get to 7 mana by not really being wastelandable and just cast a Meteor Sword as the game goes along. I went through a couple different color iterations of this deck. The original version started out as blue, and I was trying to get both Mockingbird and Quantum Riddler in there, and I tried to finesse Tamiyo in there as well. And assuming that you want Quest for the Holy Relic, Stoneforge Mystic, and 3 to 4 pieces of equipment in the deck, that ends up eating a lot of slots. Then I considered red for Amped Raptor, because Amped Raptor lets you cast the thing that you kind of cascade into there, and that was another way to cheat Quest for the Holy Relic. And then I felt like we were largely just doing a worse version of Boros Energy. So in an attempt to be a unique deck, our angle for being mono white here is I can hyper consistently cast my spells the entire game, and with just a ton of basic planes, I don't get thrown off of my mana by the various tempo decks that are at the top of the metagame. And on that note, I think I want to make one change here. I think I want to sideboard Batterskull. I had cute ideas about Return to the Ranks, getting all of my 1-drops, but I think we can only play so many cute sideboard slots. Curious Farm Animals is kind of hilarious to me in the context of this deck specifically. We're not worried about things like Mother of Runes dying because we're going to play a pair of pre-war formal wear and have the ability to blink that with Felia. One of the things that we want to do for inevitability is just blink out Meteor Sword every single turn. Well, blinking out pre-war formal wear is another really, really cute thing to do with your Felia triggers. I suspect that what we are doing is going to be totally reasonable in fair matchups and questionable in combo matchups. And I think we're just going to largely rely on like powerful, swingy sideboard cards to get us games versus combo. And I have like some Solitudes and Paths and a couple extra pieces of equipment in the sideboard here, so that if we're in a matchup where Quest for the Holy Relic just doesn't make sense for one reason or another, we'll have the opportunity to board it out. With that, I'm going to go ahead and hop into the matches here, folks. If you need any cards, please consider getting them from my sponsor, TOAMagic.com. They have been very, very good to me. Promo code ThrabenU will save you a little bit on your order. You always get free shipping. And if you find you need any cards from Lorwyn, please consider checking them out. All right, let's battle. My deck is very low to the ground here, but I'm not sure that I want to keep very many one-landers. 2 is so much more comfortable. I have things like Starfield Shepherd and Stoneforge Mystic that I really need to get off of the ground. I guess we can math it real quick. I will have 23 lands remaining in deck, and it's fine if it's a colorless land. I think I hit like 65% of the time. Let's just mulligan. This is fine. This is a little bit in the other direction, where I have 1 land more than what I would like. I'm just going to hope that Wasteland being a spell evens that out. Oh yeah, 100%. I am game for that. But we're going to dirtle. We're going to be here for a while, in which case the first hand was probably fine. Get out of here. Let me also just take this as a moment to say that the donation deck list queue is a little light right now, so if you have anything you want to see on this channel, I will be recording with it very quickly. Cameo comes in for my opponent, which is not the best for me. I'm going to play Quest for the Holy Relic. If my opponent is a Prismatic Ending deck, that will be my cue to pretty much board out Quest for the Holy Relic immediately. This is just something that needs to sit in play for quite some time before it generates its value. And if at any point my opponent has Prismatic Ending style cards that can take this out, it is exceptionally bad for me. So we're going to start scaling this up. I'll do it next time it goes on the deck. Then Mother of Runes. Oh, I can't always yes. Weird. Alright. Yield to all of that nonsense. Okay. No end of turn removal spell. That's great for me. Let's see what my opponent can do here. Alright, Beans. So Beans are established, but I have active Mother of Runes. I will take that. But my opponent does have 2 different sources of card advantage going. I don't love that. Felia is kind of cool. I can Felia start blinking clue tokens. I think I just want a Stoneforge. It's quite good if my opponent does not have the counter immediately. So let's go yes. My opponent's going to exile my stuff, meaning pre-war Formalware isn't fantastic. Cauldra? What's Cauldra? I'm not sure if it's Cauldra or Meteor Sword there. Cauldra seems like a pain in the butt to deal with. Like, with active Mom. Sure. That's draw number 2. Cameo triggers again. Let's just yield to that. Is that it? Leyline Binding. That's going to transform a Tameo. And Leyline Binding is exactly the sort of Prismatic Ending style card that I was talking about that really threatens Quest for the Holy Relic over time. Which is unfortunate. We were at 3 counters. Like, we were more or less there. Alright. My creatures are currently safe. So, activate Stoneforge, Cauldra, Trigger, gain the energy here. Let's send that at Tameo. I think I'm going to just over-attack Tameo here. This may be wasting some damage, but things can happen with like a Source to Plowshares and a Solitude. So I miss 2 points of damage, but I play it ever so slightly safer. I pass the turn with Felia available, and I really hope that my opponent does not have game 1 sweepers here. Nice. No end of turn swords to like make Mom tap or anything. 6 cards in hand, 3 queued, plus up the Beanstalk. Felia can blink Stoneforge for pre-war Formalware, I guess, or Meteor Sword? I might just put the Meteor Sword into hand. Ah, you fool. Look at all my basic planes. Alright, new Tameo. Or Beans. Is that card draw 3 already? I think it is. Yep. Alright, Tameo pluses. Oh, I fucking forgot to play Felia. Oops. Well, hopefully that's not relevant. I mean, it like absolutely is. Hopefully it doesn't lose me the game is more accurate. I think once again, I am over-attacking Tameo in case things go wrong. Alright, cool. Cycling Lorien revealed. With how many cards my opponent has theoretically queued up, that seems fine. New land drop. There's a Riddler. That is a draw 4 for 2 mana, which is a little silly. Under extra blue floating, which I'm going to just assume was an error. That's a shuffle. Ooh, that's a Murktide Regent. That is a big creature. Let's go ahead and see if anything happens here. It doesn't. I'm going to go ahead and cast a spell. If my opponent Force of Wills, they might end up discarding more cards. All right. With it on the stack, do it again. All right, fine. Draw 6. And it's possible that my opponent had the Force of Will in the previous turn cycle, but they might have drawn an extra card. So has literally moved directly under my feet. That's a way to get a Felia back. Kind of like this to fly. Just 3 to equip. So 1, 2. Put pre-war formalware into play. Return a Felia to play. Gain a life there. This is +2/+2 and vigilance. I'd make this a 5/6. So let's just go ahead and attach to the germ instead. More keywords there. And next turn, if my Felia is still alive, draw 3. Anyway, if my Felia is still alive, I can just blink out the Murktide Regent. Opponent going after the Cauldron equipment itself. Sure. You may block and kill my 2/2 with vigilance. I accept this. Alright, it begins. So now I have to protect Mom. And this is probably where the dam breaks. So I lose Mom here, and then when my opponent has more white mana, I will start losing these other creatures. I'd like to dodge another white mana source for this turn. I did not succeed. That probably means that I lose Felia? No, Guide of Souls first. Okay. I viewed Felia as the scary one there. Down to 21. Cameo flips. Exile-based removal, making it so that I can't just like blink pre-war formalware and get back another relevant creature is a little rough. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and equip here. I attack Tamiyo. This does not kill Tamiyo. I can blink Stoneforge and get Meteor Sword. I think if I do that, the Stoneforge is not particularly long for this world. I think I'm just going to go ahead and blink out the Murktide Regent. Then Murktide can come back as a smaller creature. Yeah, you can crack a clue. The good news is my opponent only has 16 more cards in deck. Bad news is they have 6 cards in hand, plus Tamiyo, plus 3 up the Beanstalks, 2 clues, and a Partridge in the Pear Tree. Everything else about the situation is not great. There's a Riddler as a draw 4. 12 cards in deck. We are starting to reach the point of, is there an Endurance in the deck? 14 life. Prismatic Ending on Stoneforge. Yes. Alright, opponent is just gonna defend the Tamiyo and discard some cards. Raucous is a thing. It's so easy for my opponent to retransform that Tamiyo. I think I'm gonna try to kill this Murktide Regent. I will do that by attacking Tamiyo, blinking Quantum Riddler. Alright, opponent just lets the Tamiyo die. I will deploy a Karakas, which is not doing a lot. This draws my opponent another card, which legitimately might be my win condition. If I can gain 1 life, I can force an extra combat step. Oh no! Karakas! I believe this is the first point that I was wastelandable all game. Alright, Felia goes bye-bye. I will take 7, going to 14. I'll play a dog. Force of Will, drawing 3 cards, 6 cards remaining in library. Ooh. Aldra? Hello? Witch Enchanter? Target that Leyline Binding. No Stifle effect. Nice. Felia. Sure. And then 4/5. I guess my opponent just takes. Okay, Leyline Binding, draw 3. 3 cards remaining in deck. This is going to be tight. I think this favors my opponent. I think they hit me for 7 or so this turn, and then kill me next turn. Is a Murktide lethal? 3, 7, 8, 9, plus 5, 14. I think a Murktide is just lethal. Oh, but my opponent kills themselves! 2 cards in deck. Is there an endurance in hand? Oh, legitimately giving my opponent one extra card by blinking their Quantum Riddler a turn or two back. It like was the difference between me dying there and not. Why do we play Magic? Moments like that. Ooh, GG's. Okay, given how easily my opponent can remove Quest for the Holy Relic, I apologize, it's gotta go. Non-ironically, we are getting Curious Farm Animals in here. My opponent has like Leyline Bindings and Up the Beanstalks that I want to destroy, and this is tutorable. That's like legitimately solid. I can get Solitude and Batterskull in as alternative removal. My opponent has Thalia, which also is good against Quest for the Holy Relic. Do I want a second Meteor Sword so that I can fetch one up with Stoneforge? No, I'm taking Quest for the Holy Relic out, so I don't need one in hand and in library at the same time. There's also something to just running Path to Exile to say, like, hey, you don't get to get Tamiyo going immediately. I'm thinking about cutting a copy of Pre-War Formalware for one of these. I'm just trying to figure out where I land on it. I have 6 main deck removal spells already. Let's do... unsure about Meteor Sword. The second one is there so that when I know games are going to go long, but Quest is still good, that I can Stoneforge one and still have another in deck. And if this was a Yorion build, which I don't think makes sense if we're trying to show off Quest for the Holy Relic specifically, but if it was, I would probably play a second Meteor Sword just in the main deck. Okay, opening hand has no mana. That's not going to do it. Second hand is totally fine. I'm going to keep this, and I think just get rid of the path. It's awkward if my opponent drops turn 1 Tamiyo immediately, and I get rid of my removal spell. But they didn't. Got away with it. Starfield Shepherd is a nice addition to this hand. Gives me something reasonable to blink with Thalia if Stoneforge Mystic dies. Am I going to get away with murder 2 games in a row of untapping with Mother of Runes? Doesn't look like it. Alright, Prismatic Ending gets Mom. Let's play Thalia at the end of my opponent's turn. I don't mind Thalia into Starfield Shepherd here. Ooh. We do have Terminus to watch out for. That I don't think was in the game 1 deck. Ha, you fool. Alright, I will Thalia in that spot. Now Beans can resolve. Hopefully we dodge swords. Nice. Let's attempt the warp. The excellent force of will for my opponent. Okay, cool. I don't want to just get Curious Farm Animals. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to do it. Fucking Curious Farm Animals. So then the next point is, does Thalia resolve? Or rather, does Thalia get to trigger? Negative. Okay. This land is wastelandable. I'm going to pay the life and cast the Curious Farm Animals here. This will give my opponent a chance to use a removal spell on it, meaning that I don't get rid of Up the Beanstalk. But I am going to get wastelanded in this turn cycle in all likelihood. And I still want to be able to just progress my game rather than have to use mana next turn on Curious Farm Animals. Alright, this is not shaping up perfectly, but I didn't get wastelanded, which is actually super big game, because it means that I can now double spell. So, Stoneforge Mystic number 1, we'll search up Kaldra. Stoneforge Mystic number 2, I think it searches up Meteor Sword. This gives me some counterplay versus the Beanstalks. Not getting pre-war Formalware means that the card Supreme Verdict specifically is very good against me. We haven't seen that yet, but it's a reasonable thing to be in my opponent's deck. There's a removal spell for a Stoneforge Mystic. Goodbye. Okay, well, there's a mana source that could remove a Stoneforge. Undra. It is unfortunately another removal spell for my creature. So I should now get wastelanded. And I'd like to find mana. That is mana. I don't believe that I am wastelanding my opponent. I have 3 different big spells that I would like to draw. Or rather, I would like to cast. And it's possible that not getting just a basic plains with this Starfield Shepherd earlier was a mistake. The Curious Farm Animals line was kind of cool, though. I don't regret going for it. I think at this stage, the biggest thing that I am trying to do is prolong this game. I would like my opponent to be a very, very awkward spot when it comes to clock in game 3, so that they don't have as long to think about their decisions. I'm not gonna try to grief them or anything and turn on a gajillion D priority passes to grind that time. I'm not about that life. Alright. Warp here is totally fine. Would you like to counter? My opponent does. Went through half of their deck now, for sure. I technically have a removal spell for Murktide Regent in hand, if you look at it funny. Another land drop. There's a Tamiyo. Now opponent fetches. It is Mystic Sanctuary time. Just probably be getting Force of Will if I were in their position, but I don't know the other 4 cards. It seems like Force of Will, double up the Beanstalk is kind of nuts. Opponent agrees. If this is a Murktide Regent, my opponent could have fetched once Murktide Regent was in play to remove another thing and grow this by 1. Felia is a reasonable Magic the Gathering card that I do not necessarily think will be enough. Like, my opponent gets Force of Will. Maybe I cast Felia before my opponent draws there. But surely they have removal too, right? Oh, they just let that resolve. Cool. Combat? Oh shit. Attack. Blink the counters off of Murktide Regent. And sign the trigger, sure. Hit opponent for 2. Warp a Starfield Shepherd. Opponent might just choose to counter this. Alright, they do. Drawing 2 more cards. They have Force of Negation in still against me. And crack a clue. That transforms the Tamiyo. Swords my creature. Alright. I think my opponent is in play sloppily because my clock is low mode. I think they had ways to do that cycle of cards more effectively. But sometimes you gotta play quickly. So this is 5. I need to do this as a... Not 5. Oh, I got Wastelanded. Wasteland has betrayed me as being wastelandable. Alright, so I get domed for 8 here. I die with 4 cards that I can't cast. GG's. Got Wastelanded twice in my... How many basics is this? 18? Oh no, there's another Crocs there. In my 16 basic land deck. Alright. Such is life. Given how low my opponent is on clock, I think I'm going to board in 1 more removal spell here. I just don't want that same sort of thing to happen. Just go down 1 Mother of Runes now that I know that my opponent has access to Terminus. Oh boy, I do not like double Witch Enchanter here. I don't know that I'm going to mulligan this, but I do not like that. This is just a hand that buys so much time versus my opponent's things like Tamiyo and Murktide that can threaten to take over a game quickly. Savannah and ending. Yep. So I'm down to 14. Land drop. End of turn Felia. Cool. Awkward. I think I just full on start with the attack. Opponent fetches. Opponent has their own Felia. I will swords your Felia. Cool. Opponent to 19. I now have Wasteland. I think I go at the thing that casts the cantrips here. And the thing that contributes to count for Murktide Regent. Alright, there is another island. There's a Tamiyo. I will just go ahead and swords now. I still have path left over. My mana's bad. My Felia is bad with nothing to blink. But I'm not dying to creatures. This is absolutely a good news, bad news situation. Next land drop. Leyline Binding. Yes. I'm not going to path my own creature here. I don't have anything to bring back in graveyard with pre-war Formalware. That is literally 1 card too late, unfortunately. Next land drop. And we're doing some draw go here. Nope, opponent is being a second main phase hipster when they have 5 minutes on clock. There is a Murktide Regent. I will swords it, even though it's not very big. Alright, Solitude is fine. That's not something that will come back via pre-war Formalware. But it is a removal spell. Guide of Souls is fine. I'm just going to play it out. Alright. Combat. Send in. Not so much on the energy here. A Leyline Binding. You've got it. You may take my card. We continue the game of Draw Go, which is very favorable to me right now. That I like a lot less. It's resolving. Now in terms of resources, the game being longer is not favorable to me. I think I am fine attempting to warp this. Good enough for a Brainstorm in response. And a Force of Will, pitching a Consign. That one doesn't return via pre-war formalware. We are at Tamiyo time. We'll just be bounced by Caracas. Yeah. No Brainstorm in response is great for me. Land drop and pass. Opponent fetches. Mystic Sanctuary, a Force of Will. Yeah. I'm not trying to win this game by resolving a 3-2 beater here. You may have your Force of Will. Guide of Souls is fine. Might wait to play that with another card. If I play it and it gets countered, I can pre-war formalware it this turn, though. Okay, hit play. So that's it for me. Florian Revealed is a lot of cards. On it way ahead in terms of resources. Yes. So now we just see if I outlast them. Like I probably don't lose to Tamiyo with Caracas in play, and I just see if I have enough Solitudes and Paths to beat their other stuff. Quantum Riddler. Resolves 8 cards. They're about to discard a card. I would kind of like to use mana on Solitude followed by mana on Solitude. So there's Solitude. Alright, cool. And sign the trigger. Alright. I accept. Still have Solitude plus Path on my turn. I want to try to get rid of this immediately. And more other path. So let's attempt a path. There's a Force of Negation instead. Alright. I know that my opponent still has Force of Will. Let's get Force of Will out of here as well. Sure. We get another Riddler for our trouble. Then I think I just wait a turn. I would prefer not to tap out of Caracas. Well, alright. Sure. I will take 4, going to 14 on my opponent's turn. Maybe let you keep this for a turn. Attempt Ocelot Pride. Now let's cast Solitude on my opponent's turn. Yeah. Alright, another Force of Will. I wonder if Ocelot Pride baits that. 4 from the attack. Alright. 1. Would love to see this countered. The pre-war formalware is live. It is not. I think I'm holding this. The opponent needs 2 removal spells or a sweeper to outright answer these. Brainstorm's very good. Amiota 4. Fetching. Minute and a half on clock. Opponent does have time to win this game. But I think if I take this Riddler out of play, there's a very good chance that it's over. And I think if my opponent can slam a Murktide Regent here, they are in awesome shape. All right, they're going for the Ocelot Pride over the Mom. Oh no, they get both. Understood. Pre-war formalware not lining up well versus the exile-based removal. I'm at 6. Yeah, I might just blank and lose. I think my opponent minuses on Tamiyo, picks up Force of Will, and they can't lose. All right, 2. 4 play a Murktide Regent. Yeah, that'll do it. So that's an 8/8 Murktide Regent. I need to answer both. Tamiyo returns Force of Will. So I Ocelot Pride. My opponent counters. Nope. That'll be 13 in the air. That'll do it. My opponent narrowly gets over the edge there. GG's. Pre-war formalware being bad in this matchup was very costly, and drawing all of my removal spells instead of threats at the beginning of the game didn't help me either. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com. If you're looking to store your decks online, you're not going to find a better website. It's super organized and easy to use, and I sort everything that I do into a ton of format-specific folders, and you can customize the way that you use Moxfield to your liking. Whether you like text views or visual views of multiple different natures, Moxfield has it all. And it's so easy to use, you might even say that it's a snap. All right, no quest for the Holy Relic in the opener, but there's a reasonable pile of cards here. We have a decent chance of assembling Ocelot Pride plus Guide of Souls. over the next few turns. I also have Thalia plus Warp creatures, which is always sweet. Uh-oh. Well, game 2. Game 2, I like our odds. Game 1, it ain't looking great, folks. When you don't play blue decks in Legacy, this sort of thing is going to happen. This is a Beseech the Mirror potentially with 6 floating mana. We might already just be at 2 Beseech chains being deterministically lethal. Okay, next Beseech. We at Gaia's Will. Alright, we are at Gaia's Will, so now my opponent can replay LED, Mox Opal, Dark Ritual, Beseech, and that'll do it. Alright. I can see the win from here. I will concede and save the 30 seconds. GG's. 4x Deafening Silence is fine. Stony Silence is good. I mean, maybe? Pre-war Formalware doesn't really matter. Swords. We're going to have a lot of cards that aren't super great. Quest for the Holy Relic is probably staying in. Like, Swords can go. At least one of those can go. Probably both. The thing it does is bring creatures back from discard. Bomb's not particularly good. Is it just second Meteor Sword for blowing up lands and LEDs? Yeah. And fuck it, Curious Farm Animals. Get in there. I'm not going to say that this game boils entirely down to do I have Deafening Silence in my opening hand, but I'm also not gonna not say it. Hell yeah. I'm not playing a creature until turn 3. I don't think that's viable in this specific hand. There's a Deafening Silence. So, Boomerang Basics is potentially a thing that I have to worry about killing me. If I don't lose the Stony Silence to a discard spell this turn, I'm in better shape for not losing immediately. Gamble. That's my opponent's one. I'm going to get to cast Stony Silence, which is pretty dope, honestly. Opponent junks a Beseech. I drop Stony Silence. Pass. Surveil land. Card on top. Deafening Silence notably is more than one non-creature spell each turn. Play this. Say yes. There's Guide of Souls. There's Warp. I'll just always yield to Guide of Souls. Is it non-ironically Curious Farm Animals? Or is it just Ocelot Pride? I think it's actually Curious Farm Animals. And we warp out. Verdant and pass. Fetching this makes it harder for my opponent to like use their turn to play out an LED that they want to float to the next turn. Oh shit. Go? I think I'll go. Trigger, farm animals. It'll be really funny if I die for not holding up Curious Farm Animals. Go to 20. This is 3 energy. Send in with Guide of Souls. Say yes. Get my counters. 17. Play Ocelot Pride. Gain more life. Am I at the City's Blessing? 4, 8, 9. Yeah, I will be at the City's Blessing. Unless Oseju. We'll get a Plains. Guide of Souls triggers. Stony Silence is still a scary card. While that's in play, my opponent needs to win off of Ritual mana. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably 10 damage next turn. This probably doesn't get cast. I probably hold up Curious Farm Animals even with the Stony Silence in play. Alright, opponent put their card on top. 4th land. Can my opponent get there through Stony Silence? I hope no. I'm scared that the answer is yes. Alright, here we go. 3 mana. Song of Creation, maybe? Song of Creation. So, now my opponent is going to get to draw a lot of cards. And I might die for not holding up Curious Farm Animals, like, legitimately. I put a very large amount of power into play and gained a bunch of life. Disrupting Song of Creation is a really big deal. Curious Farm Animal believers losing it in chat. The artifacts don't do anything here. So there's a very real colored mana bottleneck. My opponent has 2 black right now. The Bloodstained Mire was their land for turn, so they get 2 black plus 1 other of some other color. So I think it's difficult for them to transition into another color. And they might need to fetch and make sure that they don't take themselves off of that color. I'm not sure how many fetchables they still have left with 4 lands already in play and having drawn a handful of cards. Like, there are fetchables, to clarify, but, like, does my opponent have access to both red and blue off of that fetch land? We'll find out. At this point, I'm going to do relevant plays. There's a Dark Ritual. The raw amount of black mana has gone up. At that point, Beseech should just win. Or Raw Tendrils from hand. Yeah, I legitimately lost that one for playing Mom and Ocelot Pride instead of holding up Curious Farm Animals. GG's. Got it. Okay, I think given the amount of value that this hand can generate that I keep it, hitting one of my, like 16 1-drops on turn 1 would be pretty cool here. Ha 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 ha. Oh, nice. We actually did hit. Big game. And God of Souls resolves. Cool. If this is a tempo deck, my opponent might be using their colored mana for this energy? Initiative? Pass. Interesting. Belia is super reasonable for my opponent to have here. I think I'm not attacking with Guide of Souls here. I could wasteland my opponent's wasteland. I think I'm into this. Yeah. Meteor Sword? Kind of into Meteor Sword. I think my opponent doesn't have anything based on the priority pass speed here. Okay. I was correct. All right. How many cards did you keep in your hand? How many cards did you keep in your hand? 6. All right. London Mulligan. Sound clip. Get it queued up. Opponent is playing a creature-based deck of some kind. Something in the energy, initiative, fast mana ballpark. So more removal is probably good. I am probably looking at this stuff. I don't think I'm going to need Containment Priest here. So the primary question is, do I want or need Quest for the Holy Relic? The easiest way to sideboard is to just remove Quest for the Holy Relic. I think I'll keep it so the people don't yell at me. I feel like my deck is so good if I remove Quest for the Holy Relic here. Like, my opponent is trying to slam something large and just win the game with it. This is not a grind them out over time. Yeah, if I kind of view my opponent as a combo deck, where their combo is mana plus creature, I can't justify it. I want to get at least these 5 cards in, if not also the second Meteor Sword. Yeah, this is totally fine. My mana is not like 100% wasteland proof this time. Hopefully that doesn't matter too much. I'm into Stoneforge with 2 different removal, or rather 2 different things to put in is pretty strong. Chancellor. Yeah. Once Upon a Time. All right, Undermountain Adventurer. That's not a land that I can wasteland. Am I clearing this trigger? I think I'm clearing this trigger so that Stoneforge can resolve the following turn. Sorry, Mom. So, can you now produce a threat on turn 2? Certainly the answer is yes, right? Ooh, it might be costly to do so. All right, we've got Broadside as well. Anointed Peacekeeper. My Stoneforge. No! Now I don't get to wasteland my opponent either. Belia Starfield Shepherd, though. All right. There's also timelines where I blink Anointed Peacekeeper out, play Stoneforge Mystic, and say, okay, now what? All right. That's the mana dork for Undermountain Adventurer. We've got Vigilance on both of these creatures. I'll get hit for 3. There's Felia. Yep. Path, Undermountain Adventurer. I think my opponent will have 1 more basic land in their deck. Go to combat. Send Felia in. Blink Anointed Peacekeeper to guarantee that I can take the initiative. We'll pick that Plains. Play that Plains. Play Stoneforge Mystic. Say yes. 3 mana sources in play. Pre-War Farmware gets a Mother of Runes back. Or a Stoneforge that I jump block back with. Yeah. In. So you may Anointed Peacekeeper. Pre-War Farmware blinking nonsense on the table. Ooh, opponent names Pre-War Farmware, meaning Stoneforge Mystic activation is online. I think I just jump block though. Hold initiative. Forge counters on Felia. I don't know, getting Cauldron in play is also kind of stupid. I think I'm going to hold initiative. I think it works out well either way. Forge. Forge Felia. A Mother of Runes. Got it. Land drop. Starfield Shepherd. Trigger. Guide of Souls. Guide of Souls. Mother of Runes. Trigger. Combat. Attack for 4. Felia. Blinks Starfield Shepherd. Opponent takes 4. End of turn. Warp Trigger does nothing. Starfield Shepherd comes back. Yield to all energy abilities. Now I will pick up an Ocelot Pride. Now I have something in play that can block and trade with Anointed Peacekeeper, with Pre-War Formalware, and Cauldra right behind. All right. Dominated that one, but my opponent conceded game 1 incredibly quickly. GG's. Well, this hand looks sweet. Like, I'm very, very happy with it. Would have been very happy with Quest for the Holy Relic in this opener with 3 creatures already. Basic Swamp. No! My boy! Let's play a Felia here. Felia into Pre-War Formalware sounds kind of hot. Bloodstained Mire passing the turn. Hey, if this is a Dirtily Grixis matchup, this is exactly where I want to see Quest for the Holy Relic. Like, in thinking about what I would like to get paired against in between rounds, Dirtily Grixis was my answer. Come on. Kill that dog. Kill that dog. Mono black. Mono black control. Sick. Oh shit. For the people. For the people. We quest for the Holy Relic. Good luck answering my enchantment, mono black deck. Notably, I think it's probably correct to slam Pre-War Formalware this turn, so that I never lose this card to discard. Ooh. Alright, that's all my opponent is doing. There's Felia. Counter 1. Swords. I blink my Quest for the Holy Relic, remove the counter, make Felia bigger. Alright, there's Pre-War Formalware. Turn Guide of Souls. Fatal Push on Felia. Sure. It's going to give us Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, which is totally reasonable. I could make the attack there and Felia on nothing. If I do that, Bowmasters lines up super favorably versus Felia. Whereas if I play Pre-War, ooh, Lily. Okay, seems good. Goodbye, Guide of Souls. Ooh, yes. Equip quest on this 3. Oh, counter number 2. Yes, I will use this ability. Trigger. I really just want it to be a creature that can attack and kill Lily. All my creatures have like 1 power. Pre-War Formalware equip line is available to help out with that. Here's counter 3. There's also timelines where I just take a basic land here in case I get wastelanded. Alright, Eumidian Hatchery. Buy swords. Ooh, new Liliana. Alright. Opponent has 2 cards remaining. The Smallpox later on is rough. Oh shit. We're doing it. Starfield Shepherd. Counter 4. Trigger. I think I'm just going to get a land with 2 of these coming. Land drop. Ocelot Pride. Yes. This has no sorcery speed restriction. Opposition agent is a thing. I guess I should just do it now. Aldra? How is this living weapon interaction going to work? Let's find out. Attach Cauldra to a creature I control. I attach to Ocelot Pride. And then I think the living weapon trigger moves it again. Yeah. I will attack and kill Liliana. And I have 2 creatures in play and 2 scary pieces of equipment with like these kind of floating. I also could have done this in a way where I wastelanded my opponent. Alright, Bowmasters is good. I think I don't want to wasteland with 2 5-drops for value coming. Could just crash in for 7. I think that's worse than equipping Ocelot Pride. Yeah? 12. Ocelot Pride. Give Ocelot Pride some pants. Now, Bowmasters does not kill Ocelot Pride, and with the first strike, I'm super fine with attacking into my opponent's creatures. And basically every draw in my deck is currently good. Lands are great because they represent both Starfield Shepherds. Spells are great because they're spells. There's Smallpox. Indestructible creature versus creature that spirals. Fatal Push is a thing. If my opponent has Fatal Push, they Fatal Push the Ocelot Pride first. I think I'm just going to keep the trample with my opponent at 10, soon to be 9 life. I think I'm just good sacrificing the Wasteland, so I can't be Wastelanded further. 3 insect tokens, and an attack for 1. 18. Mono Black Pox over there putting up a good fight. Alright. Sure. This is Vigilance. We are Keyword Soup. 7. Opponent goes to 3. Onboard blockers aren't enough. They need to find an Edict or a Smallpox or whatever. Cling to Dust. 6 life. Is that better than drawing a card? I'm not sure that that is better than drawing a card with Cling to Dust. Alright. Flyers come on in. 15. It's a Smallpox. They're still in this. They're keeping me off of these 5-drops. I'll drop the Wasteland for the same logic as before. Ox still giving it their best. Basic land. Does not do anything for me immediately, but 1 more land drop is a very big deal. I think land is one of my opponent's better draws for this turn. They're not to any of their bigger spells like Smallpox and Lily without that. There's Felia, which I will just play with Flash. Felia, Blinking, Pre-War Form Aware, Caldra, Insect Token. All those things are great. Alright, I will take 3. My opponent's card needs to be a removal spell for Felia, or they lose on the spot. Well, I guess it's not on the spot, right? It's 4 damage plus some bad thing. Okay, it's an Edict. That buys my opponent another draw step. Land. Starfield Shepherd. Which means that I have Starfield Shepherd the following turn as well. The Lifelinker seems reasonable. So next turn, I can threaten Lethal. Midian Hatchery. You've got it. I think I'm into the equip for 3 mana. Send in for 5. Yep. Then I will Stoneforge. I believe I have 2 Pre-War Formalwares in the deck. Yeah. So then next turn I have Pre-War Formalware, Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride. We defeat Pox. We defeat Pox. GG's. Closer than I expected, given that we had a couple of Starfield Shepherds. Okay. Kinda into this Batter Skull. That's a super annoying card as games go long. I don't have Disruptor Flute for Liliana. I don't have something like Rest in Peace for Eumidian Hatchery to just say no to the entire graveyard. My Swords to Plowshares aren't exactly crazy. I probably still keep some, or maybe all of them, just to respect things like Douthie Voidwalker or Bowmasters that could either just clock me easily or like Bowmasters can mess up, my Felia combat. I know that my opponent has Bowmasters making Mom worse. Second Meteor Sword is a little weird. It's an answer to Liliana, technically. Can I get away with not playing swords? It's like, yeah. Be sad if my opponent has something like Sheoldred. Be sad if they have something like Opposition Agent. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, that's a weird looking hand. I think I just keep this. It's not fantastic. Like, this is my 3rd mana for this, and I have... That's not a card in hand. This is a card in hand that I would like to hardcast later. Let's not blow up Eumidian Hatchery. So test 1 is the Fatal Push test. Whoa, no counter on Eumidian Hatchery at end of turn. Unexpected. So that means no Smallpox here? Alright, it's Bowmasters for Mom. Unfortunate. Alright, more basic lands. Totally happy with that. I think I will just Guide of Souls and pass. I don't think I'm going the Wasteland route. Opponent has their own Wasteland. Is Liliana. Sure. I lose a creature. I've got Pre-War Formalware for exactly these sorts of spots. I have a Meteor Sword that I can discard to Liliana without caring about it very much. That's also fine. Yeah. Formalware. I think I do Guide of Souls, given that this can be Ocelot Pride next turn. Fatal Push seems good. I'll eat 2 damage. 16. No Lily Plus. Got it. That means my opponent's hand is good. Starfield Shepherd into basic planes is not crazy. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I am just going to go ahead and warp here. I think Guide of Souls. It doesn't die to a Bowmaster ping. Cast Guide of Souls. Oh, edicting my warp creature now. Guide of Souls has resolved. I think I can wasteland my opponent's wasteland, and then they can't wasteland their Eumidian hatchery later. Which is kind of cute. I think I'm just going to play... I think it's less likely I get wastelanded if I do this. Remember in the days of Liliana dominance in Legacy, when people sideboarded Wiltleaf Liege to get them? I remember. There's an Edict. Goodbye, Guide of Souls. Lily Plus. Goodbye, Meteor Sword that's not doing anything. What the fuck is this? Each creature with mana value X or less loses abilities until end of turn. Destroy those creatures. Got it. Funky Black Sun Zenith callback. 14. You're not good right now. Yeah. Yes. Batter Skull, which hopefully clears Liliana. This late in the game, Quest for the Holy Relic is just a dead card. Like, I don't even know that I will cast it. It might just be better chilling in hand for a future Liliana. I have to be very careful about just getting clocked out to this. My opponent passed... Like, did my opponent have Wasteland available on my turn? Because if they did, just cashing that in for 4, Lily minus on Batterskull, crash in for 6, 2-turn clock is pretty darn good. If Wasteland was not untapped, ignore those instructions. I think Wasteland was untapped, though. My opponent is in the tank. I consider that good for me. I think my position is quite bad. Oh shit, it's Fatal Push. Now opponent can Liliana plus. Okay. Is this better than just blowing up your land? I take 3. I'm at 7. Opponent does not Liliana plus. Land is bad for me. So now I need to wasteland your wasteland so that you can't get the creatures out from under Eumidian Hatchery. And then I need to figure out how I'm beating this Liliana. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Current plan involves playing Batterskull. Alright, opponent did not play around Aphelia. I don't think they should. I'm at 3. We each discard. Yep. Opposition Agent. Okay. Confirming those are in the deck, I might need a couple of swords. Even though I don't really want them. Oh shit. Smallpox will do it. I don't beat that from here. I'm at 2 life with Lily to edict whatever creature I get. I'll take the draw just in case I'm wrong, but I can't imagine there's anything that beats Eumidian Hatchery. That Smallpox as the last card was brutal. Yes. Alright, GG. We get another shot. Opposition Agent is good against Quest for the Holy Relic and Stoneforge Mystic. Meaning that a couple of those are probably fine. Or I could just not be a coward. 1 Meteor Sword down. 1 Quest down. Play a couple of swords. That has no mana. Ocelot Pride plus Guide of Souls. Double Swords to Plowshares is awful. Don't know if that was the Meteor Sword. Well, no. So this would be Meteor Sword and what's it? Quest for the Holy Relic. Put Meteor Sword back into deck. Keep Quest. Quest would actually look pretty good here. Have 2 counters on it already on turn 2. I think it is important to edge, though. Like, once I confirm that Opposition Agent exists, which is very good against, well, really 12 cards in my deck, because it's Starfield Shepherd as well. I think I just got to do the thing. I don't want to get hit by discard on 1 and lose Ocelot Pride. Like, that first Ocelot Pride life gain trigger is a really, really, really big deal. Do you have push? Oh, I lost it to Thoughtseize. Come on, deck. Spit up another creature. You can do it. Okay, I mean, that's a creature. Yeah. Warp. Trigger. Ocelot Pride. This is turn 2, so I've made my land drop. And Punchies. Warp out. Land drop 2. Bowmasters is now a thing. An annoying thing at that. I unfortunately think it's also just a thing that is occurring. If it happens, it happens. I want my pre-combat energy. Send on in. No Bowmaster. Cool. 15. I'm just going to play this as a tapped land when it doesn't cost me life. Last turn with a swords available. Make cat friends. That whole Black Sun board sweeper thing that my opponent is playing in slots where Toxic Deluge normally goes seems pretty reasonable. Alright, that's just Eumidian Hatchery ticking up. I am wastelandable right now. Yeah, that thing that I didn't want to see. Stoneforge is great. Play Stoneforge. Yes. Probably just pre-war formalware. Keep the grinding up. Wish I had another mana to drop it immediately. I don't want to get one of the 5 drops or above that can just get stuck in my hand if I get wastelanded. And if my opponent does something like a Smallpox, I can pre-war formalware the Stoneforge back unless they also wasteland me. In which case I need another land. Alright, push. Push and we're chilling. West. West is on casting a creature, which pre-war formalware is not. Get Stoneforge for value. Say yes. Honestly, like, we just... I think we do. Quest ever trigger? Or is Quest just a card I discard to Smallpox? Quest might be a card I discard to Smallpox. Quest is a card that I discard to Smallpox. And I'm sad about it. But I think this is the thing that is grinding out the game right now. Bowmasters is fine. Slightly surprised to see my opponent play that out here. Like, I don't know quite what that is accomplishing as of right now, unless they just need blockers for a Lily, in which case that makes sense. Seems like my opponent has blockers for a Lily. Alright, we are chilling. Okay. So my opponent potentially has 5 flyers. Would I be fine losing Stoneforge for 3 of them and then just getting Stoneforge back? I think I would. Send in. The chump is fine. I can do this at instant speed. It may be better to just cast it as a sorcery, and then I leave up cast Swords to Plowshares while having Stoneforge blocker. I think I'm going to do that. And I think I am interested in Ocelot Pride here. Imagine opponent will now charge up Eumidian Hatchery further. They're up to 5 counters. Dark Ritual. It's big, whatever it is. Okay, it is a board wipe. Sure. Opponent has done this in a way where they keep 2 other mana, and they think the better of casting something. I have exactly 2 Swords to Plowshares in my deck, and I have both of them. Unfortunate. I need another land drop to get this into play, so I have flyers. Yeah, I think these are on Smallpox duty, him protection, that sort of stuff. Midian Hatchery goes up. Bowmasters is fine. Get pinged. 18. I think at this point I'm ignoring Opposition Agent and saving points of life where I can, because this is looming, and it's going to be a lot of damage very quickly. Another land drop. Wasteland on one of my lands. Is it Smallpox? It is Smallpox. The quest for the Holy Relic was held all game for this sort of reason. I lose a land. My opponent gets a bunch of things. See if I draw reasonably. I don't know that Mom counts. I'm going to go Hellbent anyway, so let's do this. I suspect that my opponent just wins from here with 3 combat steps before I find something that beats the insects. 7 damage down to 10. Shepherd. So there's Warp. It's counter 2. Take Guide of Souls, draw Ocelot Pride. Have 4 counters on quest. Yeah, I don't see a path to victory here. Yeah. Bowmasters is insult to injury. Alright, opponent. You got this one. We got poxed. Can't be mad. Opponent had some cool tech that beat us, and they were running multiple copies of it. GG's. Alright. Opening hand is totally fine. Opponent says hello to YouTube. I have reasonable lands and spells. Hopefully we can get Quest for the Holy Relic to do its thing one more time. We have fetched up 1 piece of equipment with it so far. Silent Clearing. 60 card deck, so not like Yori and D&T. Maybe a Mardu energy deck? A black-white energy deck? Maybe opponent is a crazy person playing some dead guy ale. Bobs on screen would be sweet. Yeah, Guide of Souls, probably the best card in that hand, unless one of the others situationally lines up well versus what my opponent is doing. I'll just be passing the turn here. Marsh Flats? Ooh. I mean, resolves. I imagine I now lose Stoneforge? Could be swords if my opponent has a creature they want to play this turn. I don't know if the microphone got that, but I just stretched and had a massive back crack. My girlfriend's mother passed away in December, and we spent the weekend clearing out her house, and I'm sore. That was a lot of manual labor. Let's see what the follow-up play is. Gravecrawler. Aww. Guide of Souls, sure. My opponent probably has more threatening creatures than Guide of Souls, but my mana for the next turn is tied up in Thalia, and I would probably like to Karakas as well. I don't know the exact contents of my opponent's hand, but that would have been a time where I would have considered just sacrificing the Guide of Souls immediately for Cabal Therapy purposes. Oh, yuck. Opponent still assembled that anyway. Hate that. Oh, now I can cast this. I need something reasonable as a draw here. Nope. I can blink my own Ocelot Pride for a larger Felia. I don't think that's what I'm doing. If my opponent has another creature, they get through in the air anyway. I think I'm just going to get in there. Junk that cat token. Deal my 2 points of damage. Drop Ocelot Pride. In theory, walls my opponent's Ocelot Pride. And then pass. Don't have a creature, don't have a creature, don't have a creature. F. Not only is that a creature, but it's a good creature. 15 life. Yeah. This feels like the point where I'm just dead to double Ocelot Pride. We can F6 here. So I just eat it for 3. And then the kitty cat energy parade happens. We're not to the city's blessing yet. We probably will be next turn. And I missed. Like, I can blink out another cat token. At this point, I think I am overwhelmed. We'll move on to the next one. I think I have to leave Quest for the Holy Relic in for this matchup. My opponent's cards are better than my cards. They're doing the 3-color thing, so they are going to be much better at triggering Guide of Souls. The thing that I have going for me is that I have some, like, BS top-end equipment. So I think I can't pivot off of that. I'm not sure exactly how I sideboard if I'm not taking out Quest, but I don't think I can take out Quest. Do I give up Mom because Bowmasters? Or do I give up Thalia because combat is a little dicey? Maybe I give up Thalia, despite the fact that, like, Thalia is powerful. And just, like, I will get the 1-drops back from the graveyard at some point if I am not outright dead. This gets me a Batter Skull. This gets me a couple pieces of removal. 1 Thalia, 2nd Meteor Sword. Do 1 Thalia. I don't think so. Like, one Thoughtseize and we're out. Oh, deck. This is a bad 6-card hand. I don't know that I can keep Quest for the Holy Relic. 4 mana sources, 1 thing to trigger Quest. I just have to rip hot every turn for the rest of the game. I don't think I can do it. Okay. Land, Guide of Souls, Pre-War Formalware Mom, or Path. I think Witch Enchanter goes back into the deck. Or do I throw back Pre-War Formalware and just hope my creatures live? Like, play Mom on 1, Mom lives. Pre-War Formalware is not super necessary. That feels unrealistic. Put back Path. I think I play Mom on 1 rather than Guide of Souls on 1. Ah, this is an unfortunate way to end this video. Marsh Flats is it swords. Is Thoughtseize, which makes the Guide of Souls, meaning Pre-War Formalware is still live. Well, we hit the other path. I don't get to be aggressive here. And this is where I'm just, like, feeling the mulligans so hard. Buy Pre-War Formalware. 15. That it? No, okay, there is another land drop. Opponent keeps their card. I'm in very bad shape. Quest for the Holy Relic is here, folks. Don't worry. After my mulligan to 5, it's exactly what I need. So there's land drop 3 for my opponent. They're now getting to the point where, like, scary combinations of cards can be assembled. Plateau. Deny the energy? I'm gonna deny the energy. Sometimes that changes things for Amped Raptor purposes if my opponent were to hit a 3-drop, which it's not super likely. Hit Guide of Souls anyway. Alright. Alright. That's a start. Say yes. Guide of Souls in graveyard. Batterskull Mom? I don't know that Batterskull Mom beats Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, or just Guide of Souls more generally. Does buy a lot of time. Meteor Sword on Guide of Souls is not crazy. Is the way that I win Caldra aggro. Just Caldra in roughly 4 swings. I'm gonna try Batterskull. My opponent's deck has at least 2 Thoughtseizes in it. Maybe some Cabal Therapies are still in. It's really rough if I just lose whatever equipment I get to discard. Yeah, there we go. When it rains, it pours, baby. I was going to have trouble keeping up with my opponent's deck anyway. Amped Raptor into Amped Raptor. But after the mulligan, it hurts. This 5 dang. So Guide of Souls triggers. Put the counters on Guide of Souls, I guess. So I will block Amped Raptor. Go pro red here. I succeed in killing an Amped Raptor. That matter for the City's Blessing? Or it did. I'm not casting Witch Enchanter. That's a land. Ocelot Pride, Guide of Souls eats me in 2 turns. I don't know how I get out. Draw Batterskull? Nope. Shit. Okay. Alright. We're out of here. That was disgusting. Our opponent dispatches us easily, and we put only 1 win on the board today. Rough League. GG's. Alright, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Overall thoughts on the deck list. Did I create something that can play reasonable games of Magic when it does not have Quest for the Holy Relic? Yes, I do think I succeeded in that capacity. Quest for the Holy Relic is something that does not get any value until you have cast 5 more spells, which is rough by Legacy standards. And even if you do some things like the Amped Raptor and Starfield Shepherd stuff that is multiple bodies in one, I don't know that that's good enough. For a format that is as powerful and as fast as Legacy is, I think Quest for the Holy Relic is just kind of off the table. I think my deck building was sound today, but I think if you want to go ham with Quest for the Holy Relic, I think you just need to do it in a much weaker format. I think Penny Dreadful has some Quest for the Holy Relic decks that are bad even in that format. Where, what is the name of Arayo? Hold on. Where Arayo Soratami Ascendant is the other thing that you can do. So you do Quest for the Holy Relic and Arayo, and then you play a bunch of like Memnites and Shield Spheres and things like that. And then you have 2 different payoff things for all of the bad cards in your deck. One of the things I try to do with Legacy deck building as much as I can is just play cards that are independently powerful. And outside of Quest for the Holy Relic here, everything else in this deck is more or less independently powerful, with a couple of these cards requiring like a Stoneforge to be reasonable, but are very strong with Stoneforge. It's been a few years now, I think. A while back, we tried to make Beastmaster Ascension work in Legacy as well, sort of by similar logic of like, hey, if we just jam enough Memnites, they will die eventually. And I don't remember that going particularly well either. So many things in Legacy right now are just easy. Cameo Brainstorm leads to a win. 3 mana Barrogoyf leads to a win. Quest for the Holy Relic, 5 creatures afterwards, and have giant equipment in your deck. It's tough. So if you have any ideas for how we could have built this one better, you think we should have splashed another color, gone into red for Amped Raptor, black for Bowmasters, or anything like that, let me know down in the comments below, and maybe we'll give it another shot a different day. Have a great rest of the day, folks. See ya!